Curtis. How's fight week going so far here in Miami, man?
It's chill.
Same old. Talk to me about what the last few months have been like for you. We were supposed to see you fight a few months back. You suffered 2 ankle injuries, right? Kind of simultaneous. Can you just kind of talk about that and the recovery that took place afterwards?
The injuries happened in June. That's when I heard about the fight originally. I thought in my head, I never had injuries before, so I'm like, I'll be healthy by November. But I never stopped working out, so I never gave my ankles time to heal. They've healed. I just needed rest. It's really with ankles. It's just they're very sensitive, and it's hard to let them heal as you're working out on them. So I just needed to take off like 5 weeks, and that was hard, but I knew I had to do it. So.
Are you happy that they preserved the matchup, that Jailton was still the guy on the other side of the contract when it was time for you to come back?
Yeah, I was very happy. I didn't think there was anyone else they would give me because who else is there? But you never know, so I am happy I got the matchup.
So kind of the unique thing about this situation is I'm sure you kind of watched that Derek Lewis fight pretty closely. I guess what was your kind of thoughts on that performance? Pretty dominant from him?
Yeah, he did what I thought he was going to do, take him down. I didn't think he'd want to hang out on the feet at all. He hasn't really shown anything with footwork and hands. Like, he's a traditional jiu-jitsu guy. He's like a heavyweight version of Damian Maia. Don't have hands, just want to grapple.
Do you feel like that's kind of the difference between you two? Because I think a lot of people see you both as heavyweights that can really drown people in this division. So do you feel like on Saturday the rest of your game is going to shine over his?
Yeah, that's the beauty of being multi-faceted. I don't have one path to victory. I can win on the feet. I can grapple. I've already shown I have the power to knock guys out. So I'm very confident I will be able to show him on the feet.
Chris, over here. Just from watching Jailton's first few fights, obviously not the Derek Lewis one because he got the full 25 minutes, but it just seems from the outside looking in like he does, front kick right out of the gate and then blast double leg against the fence, try to take you down. I'm curious, like when you're watching him, is it just that cut and dry when you're watching him right there?
Yeah, and it's a lot of guys. A lot of guys at heavyweight find one skill and like, oh, that works. They don't grow. They don't expand on it. Why would they? He's had so much success. I don't think he's gonna come out and like, oh, I want to strike now. He's gonna do just like you said, the teep into the blast double leg. It works because these other heavyweights, they've never sprawled in their life. I sprawl all the time, so I guess we'll see.
Just one last one for me. It seems like a lot of these guys, when they're coming up and they have hype, it's like, oh, Jailton is a really high-level grappler, and Tom Aspinall is really fast and athletic, and he's also a black belt too. And it seems like they want to. Fans will be like, well, they haven't fought Curtis Blaydes because he can wrestle and strike and he's powerful, like you said. Do you hear that? Like fans view you as like the test they want for these guys. Like they're good, but they haven't fought a guy that can do all of these things.
Yeah, and some people would be like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. I don't care. I got a job. That's good. I'm always going to have opponents, so I take it as a compliment.
It's over here. When you and Jailton were originally booked, you guys were supposed to headline the Brazil card back in November. So now, obviously, you're on a very stacked card, but on the preliminaries. So is that something that even goes to your mind, or is it just go out there and scrap?
I prefer to be on the prelims. I don't want to be in there all day thinking about the fight. I know you guys like it because you get to end the night with a good heavyweight knockout. I don't want to be up from 12 on Saturday all the way till midnight. After I win my fight, I'm going back to the hotel. I'm going to sleep. I'm very happy I'm on the prelims.
And speaking of Tom, I know the focus on Jailton, but I know you guys did have that fight that didn't really go out the way both of you guys wanted to. So do you think that storyline is big enough in case you do get the win against Jailton to maybe run it for the interim belt or something like that down the line?
I have no idea. It seems like storylines are based off Instagram followers. So if you have enough Instagram followers, anything is a good storyline.
Curtis, right here. there's been kind of some criticism of the heavyweight division recently. The last main event with Jersey, was kind of derided. People saying, "Oh, the heavyweights can't go." I mean, do you take that kind of stuff personally when people comment on the division that way, or are you, comfortable with where heavyweights at?
I mean, the observations aren't wrong, but I don't take it. They're not talking about me. 'Cause I know I'm not like that, so I don't really care. Yeah, I don't care.
And when you look at Jailton, I mean, have you been impressed with his run so far? I mean, going through Jer and going through Derek Lewis, have you been impressed by him?
I've been impressed by the grappling, but not the overall fighting, no.
Just two quick ones over here. Do you consider Jailton a heavyweight? He obviously looked a lot smaller fighting Derek Lewis, and he's competed at light heavyweight. Do you feel like he's a proper heavyweight?
I mean, he's got proper heavyweight wins, so I guess he's a heavyweight now.
Yeah. And lastly, what do you make of the UFC sort of waiting on John Jones and giving him the time to recover while keeping the undisputed? We've seen similar cases. Sometimes fighters get stripped. Overall, your thoughts on the UFC's decision to hold the belt, I guess?
He's John Jones. He does what he want to do, and he's earned that. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to take the belt away from John, and he potentially retires, and you lose out on one of the biggest fights in history? No. So you let him heal.
Thank you.
Curtis, can I get just one more? Can I get your thoughts on the main event between Cheeto and Sean?
I think it's going to be a good scrap. I think O'Malley's grown a lot since their last fight. It ended off an injury, like the ankle thing. So they kind of got unfinished business. So I'm expecting it to be a good fight. I don't know who's going to win, but yeah.
Curtis, you compared Jailton to Damian Maia. If you had to compare your fighting style to a fighter from another division, who would it be?
Hands and wrestling. I can't think of anyone right now, but I've always modeled my style off of. Originally, I wanted to be like Habib, but then I realized growth isn't necessary. You got to grow the hands. So I can't think of anyone with my wrestling and strike. Oh, Marab. There we go. I'm like heavyweight Marab without the gas tank, though.
Thank you.
No worries.